Well, hello everyone. So glad you could join me again today. This is video 17 of the Merry Christmas Snowman children that we've been working on. As you can see, we only have two sections today. Well, two sections left, I mean, and this will be the one that we will be working on today. Let's go ahead and dial that up in. And while doing so on all this, I would like to remind you to please subscribe. It's absolutely free with no cost to you, and it really helps channels grow and become substantial. We're going to start with the letter F. And as you can see, a lot of this is going to be just the white drills. Oh, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up to show that you like the video, and leave a comment or questions or whatever they may be. And if you do so, please make sure they're at least 7 words or longer, or otherwise the algorithm does not recognize and does not help the channel whatsoever. And hit the bell notification only if you want to be notified every time a video of mine on this channel is released. All right, now we're going to the letter J. And as always, I hope everyone is doing well, or as well as can be expected. I hope your holidays have been good, or at least peaceful and tranquil, as mine has been. Whoops, for whatever reason that does not want to take. All right. I am still waiting to start with all my appointments for my knee surgery that I'm going to be having again. Hear my kitties jumping down in the background. It's a rainy day today here. Not very inviting weather for the new year. Okay. We have a couple of very large amounts, so I'm going to take out the stylus and do them with the large stylus so they can get done. That one has 5. Hopefully today will be a little better for me on doing the drills. I've noticed some days they're pretty challenging and I have a lot of problems with them. Okay, that's it on letter J. Now we're going to do P. We got 1. So let's hijack a P and and get that in there. And we'll do the same with C. And then we have one letter H from what I can see. Almost done with this painting. All right, then we'll do the letter Y. Now I have a gnome painting ready to start next. I was hoping to do a lot more for the holidays, but that would be like doing several paintings, several rectangular sections at one day. What I have started doing is on my videos, we're going to do Z now. It looks like one of them is do 5 minutes and 1 minute. I do the custom speed on them and remove all talking. So if you don't have a lot of time and you like watching them, but you don't want to hear talking and you just want to watch, I missed a Y. That always happens. I gotta miss something. So check out my 5-minute videos and my 1-minute videos if you, again, don't have a lot of time. There's another Y. Let's hijack that. All right, now just the V's and the I's. So let's do V. This is the only, the long version one is the only one with the talking. Not only am I facing the surgery, but when I go to do some of the other work, I have to figure out how to dub over the original volume, like add on it, maybe leave it, but especially if I'm showing that I'm using a table saw and a nail gun and other items like that, because they get very loud when you use them. There's a V. All right, now all we have left is the letter I. And we have a lot of them. So this is definitely snow children. The snow is usually white until it gets discolored from being old. So there'll be a lot of shaking. Due to trying to get the drills to fall into the rows. It's just something that has to be done, otherwise you can't pick them up. Come on, unload. I notice sometimes when I'm trying to unload them, all of a sudden they'll start to stick back onto the, so, alrighty then. Just one of those. Not quite sure why it didn't want to. We'll have to work on that. And then of course sometimes I accidentally bump the tripod that my camera sits on. should say cell phone because it's actually my cell phone. Some people are lucky. They have way more money to sink into setups as they get started. And they can buy cameras and other things, a lot of equipment that makes, I cannot believe that they are not releasing. What in the world? So it makes it so they have a lot more money to sink in as a setup, and sometimes I believe it can be an advantage, and then other times it can be a disadvantage, because really good equipment setup does not mean that you become popular or that you can make money at it right away. Because to be honest, most people don't share this because they want to share. They do it because it makes them extra money. But it can be hard because, as with anything, you're not guaranteed sales, you're not guaranteed popularity, you're not guaranteed to really make it. Some content creators don't even start making any money on it until like 7 years after they've started. So it can be very difficult. So when I opened my eBay store, I had experience with like yard sales, and my parents were known to always buy secondhand. But learning eBay was quite the challenge, and because I'm older and I tend to shake, and I gotta admit, smartphones are just heaven sent. The photography and video capacity ability was just heaven sent for me. And I can hold the phone, take the photos, and even though I may jerk just a little tiny bit, I had some older, cheaper camera that was still, what do they call them? It had the card in it where it wasn't old film, it was the CD card that your photos go on. The photos kept blurring on me because, again, I tend to have a lot of small micro movements, partly because I'm just a really nervous person. And anyways, with smartphones and their several cameras that they have on them, they manage to still give you clear photos. And eBay allows videos too, and the videos really helped as well. So I was used to doing a bit of both. So when I've had my eBay store now for, I think, about 6 years, I've been up and running. The first year, I didn't even make $300 for the whole year. And I'm into the really, really low thousands now. So, like, just there. And, but it's taken me years to even get to that point. And so I was like, you know, a lot of people do their YouTubes with cell phones, and I can't really afford to invest in a video camera of any sort or camera with a video capacity. So I'm just going to continue to use my smartphone. So that's the story of me using smartphone. Although I did have to invest in a short tripod because, as you can see by the video, I'm over top of the painting, and I had been given a tall tripod that I use for eBay videos, luckily, because I do my eBay on a tall stand, and it allows me to adjust a certain amount up and down, whereas something here on a table I did not have. That was one of the investments. The light up board in the back was an investment, and of course the paintings, which I tried to pick up for the lowest possible amount, and so helps the day go by a bit better. And I'm finding it quite hard to get a job. I don't know why employers think that just because they're an older person, they're not qualified to do work or they can't do work. It's awful to be treated that way. Absolutely awful. In fact, in my opinion, many older people are willing to work harder and longer than most young people, because we know exactly how we're more willing to put in what we need to do to make sure we have a roof over our heads. Because I don't know about anyone else, but I've been homeless before. It's not a fun experience at all to not have a place to go to bed at, to sleep in a car or outdoors because you don't have anywhere to go, or go begging for someone to let you stay so you don't have to be outdoors. And it's becoming quite the thing anymore these days with the cost of everything. And as someone who is watching this channel, it's amazing how what you choose to view and who you choose to view and put your time forth can make the difference in someone's life. And all you did was watch something. Who knew? Well, you know, the same used to happen with basic television when you think about it, except they put constant long-term ads on. I hate ads. at least YouTube video, their ads are short. And of course, if a YouTube content creator is really lucky, they manage to get a sponsorship by companies that also help pay them for putting out their ads, almost like a television station. Although I do believe it's a bit cheaper than most television stations. Television stations definitely charge a lot of money for advertisement fees. Just shaking out the drills here. And got one more row on that. Then we can move over and, all right. Okay. I also have this flat piece that allows me to adjust the drills, so if they didn't quite line up on the legend quite right, then I can fix them. Whoops. That's where that comes in handy too. There we go. Huh. Alrighty. So, who you choose to watch and put your time and effort forward into, as I was saying, can really make a difference in someone's life. And I was raised to believe that you don't ask for help, you don't beg for help, you don't bother people that way. So the most I can do is put out something that I know how to do, that I'm capable of doing, and try to learn what I can learn about it to try to help myself, and hope that I get a following and that it helps supplement my income. because maybe for some people, even $100 wouldn't mean anything in their life a month. Anything in my life is a help. Can make the difference between meeting all the bills, making sure my rent is paid, anything like that. So, and there are quite a few content creators that are like that, where we live on a very limited income, and every source that we can to try to make ends meet, it makes a difference. I'd go out and get a job right now if I could. Unfortunately, I don't think they would be happy to know that I can't do the work because my knee is so messed up that I have trouble even standing for a long period of time, let alone anything else. If my age wasn't already a problematic factor, because apparently most of the service industry wants younger people. And if that isn't already an issue, I have a surgery date of February 11th, which also means that I'm going to be doing quite a few videos in advance, so I can just put them on. That way, there's no interruption in my daily downloads of these videos for my viewers to watch, and my son will make sure they get put on if I end up spending an overnight at the hospital. And so I can only do what I'm limited to do, which is why I always say I hope everyone is well, or as well as can be expected, because everyone faces their own challenges and difficulties. Life in the past couple of years have been especially trying for me, considering that this is coming up to be my third surgery in the past 2 years. And it's definitely not fun. All in hopes that I manage to stay active and mobile. Otherwise, I'm going to become like wheelchair bound. And being only 57, I don't want to be wheelchair bound. At least not self-inflicted. I'd rather face surgeries than do that. I don't do TikTok. I don't do Instagram. I don't do any other sites than YouTube. And of course, like I mentioned, I have an eBay store. It's called Everything Under the Sun. It's all written in lowercase, and there's dashes in between them. So it would be everything dash under dash the dash sun dash at eBay. And as I said, once I become monetized, I definitely plan to do a link. And even if you manage to know how to get to my store, feel free to make offers. A lot of times on my items, I tend to, how is it to put my daughter saying? your stuff is a little pricey, Mom. I know it is. I'm sorry, but everybody wants to make a deal. And I don't want to be lowballed. I mean, yeah, they want it cheaper, but the problem is, if I sell it for almost nothing, that means I lose money, and then it doesn't make any sense to be a reseller, right? Because if you can't make any money off from it, then why bother to do it? And if that was the case, and another thing to think about is this. When you go into stores, do you get to go up there and make a bargain with them? Like, oh, this says it's for $29.99. How about I only give you $9 for it? I'll tell you what, that store would be like, no. And I don't care what store it is, unless it's like a flea market or a yard sale, something like that. Try going ahead and walking up to the cash register and saying, well, I only want to pay this much for it. And see how quickly, if you keep bothering them, that they don't throw you out for it. Because that ain't how the retail market works. And they do big, big markups. So a lot of times the resellers will price their items, especially on eBay, because we do offers. Many of us accept offers from our customers. You know, we want to give ourselves a little wiggle room, because it doesn't make sense to be a reseller if you can't make a profit off from it. If you can't make a profit, you're not going to be a reseller. Because otherwise, you might as well just put a free sign on it and just give it away. And it's not like it's easy. I will tell you that. So I've never been one to assume, oh, they probably get it for almost nothing, and now they're trying to sell it and make money off from it, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Never thought about it. Never really cared to think about it. So when I started eBay, oh my gosh, talk about work. eBay is a lot harder than people realize. There is so much time and energy and cost into it. Just starting out, what you need to learn, all the electronic, just listing alone and learning how to do it takes up a lot of time and effort. Then how much, like, you have to source the items, get the items. That takes time and effort, and it costs you. And then a lot of times you have to clean it, because eBay requires you to clean everything. And then taking photographs of it and learning how to do that. And even not learning, if you are, I'm particular. I believe that pictures are worth 1,000 words. I want good pictures. I want accurate pictures, because that way the customer, if you can't pick it up, you can't touch it, you can't feel it, you can't look at it in different angles and lights, then you don't know what you're really getting. So I like taking really good pictures and taking enough pictures. And to do so means that I put in more time and effort into doing it. And then the fees, that don't even count the fees that eBay charges you. and the fees that you pay the government and taxes and it just goes on and on and on. So for one item, that person might have put in already a good 20, 30 minutes of their time, sometimes even an hour if it's a high-end item and it took more work to get it ready. And then the cost of the fees, the listings and everything, and then to finally sell it. And then it takes time to pack it up. It takes money to pack it up. So yeah, there's a lot to it. So that's why a lot of sellers don't want to give away the items because, well, it took a lot to do it. I always say if you want stuff cheap, you got to go out and get it yourself. It's the only way. So that's the end of my rant. And that is the end of the video. And I hope you all take care and thank you so much for joining me. Until next time.